Some love does not need to be spoken loudly. Sometimes, love is found in the way an older brother quietly notices his little brother's small wish. It is found in the panic of having no money. It is found in running around the house trying to find a solution. And it is found in the moment a child is willing to do everything he can just to make his little brother happy. Today's story is a very special day for Cutis and BUEM. The two brothers had just finished harvesting grass. BUEM was driving the small vehicle, while Cutis sat behind him on top of a bundle of grass. The little vehicle carried the fresh smell of cut grass, the soft wind, and the innocent happiness of two brothers after working outside. Cutis sat behind BUEM and occasionally leaned forward to look at him. He felt very proud. BUEM was still small, but today he was driving with so much confidence. Every time the vehicle moved straight and steady, Cutis happily praised him. BUEM, you are driving so well. That praise made BUEM even more excited. He looked at the road ahead, then glanced around as if he wanted to show his brother that he had grown up a little too. On the way home, BUEM suddenly noticed a coffee shop by the roadside. It looked peaceful. There were chairs, tables, drinks, and people sitting there calmly. To BUEM, that coffee shop seemed like a very interesting place. BUEM immediately stopped the vehicle. Cutis, sitting behind him, surprised, and quickly lifted his head to see what had happened. BUEM turned around and told Cutis that he wanted to drink coffee. Cutis was startled. His mind started to become confused. He looked at the coffee shop, then looked at BUEM. It was clear that BUEM really wanted to go in. His eyes were full of genuine excitement, as if just sitting there for a little while would already make him very happy. Cutis loved his little brother. But then he suddenly remembered something important. To go into the shop, they needed money. He quickly searched one pocket, then another. He checked carefully, putting his hand into every small pocket, hoping to find some money left behind. But there was nothing. Cutis froze. BUEM was still looking at him, waiting. Cutis placed his hand on his forehead and began thinking. He did not want to disappoint BUEM. BUEM had driven so well, he only wanted a small outing for a drink. As the older brother, Cutis wanted to spoil him in the best way he could. Then Cutis suddenly remembered. There might still be money at home. That thought made his eyes light up. He immediately jumped to the front, took control of the vehicle, and drove back home quickly. At that moment, there was only one thought in his heart. He had to find money. He had to take BUEM for a drink. He had to make his little brother happy. Cutis drove home very quickly. As soon as he reached the gate, he hurried to open it and drove into the yard. The vehicle had barely stopped properly before Cutis jumped down and ran straight into the house. BUEM stayed sitting on the vehicle, still not fully understanding what Cutis was planning to do. He only knew that as soon as Cutis heard him say he wanted a drink at the coffee shop, his brother had become very serious. Cutis opened the cabinet. He searched for the bag where he remembered keeping money before. He pulled it out, opened every small compartment, and searched through it carefully. His face was full of hope. But that hope quickly turned into disappointment. There was no money left in the bag. Cutis sat still for a moment. BUEM slowly began to understand too. Maybe the two brothers could not go for a drink today. His face grew sad. He did not make a fuss. He did not demand anything. He only became quietly disappointed. That silence made Cutis feel even more sorry for him. Cutis refused to give up. He quickly ran downstairs. He opened one cabinet after another. If one had nothing, he ran to the next. He looked up, bent down, and searched every little corner as if he tried just a little harder, he would surely find a few coins. BUEM stood nearby, watching in confusion. He did not know what Cutis was looking for. He only saw his brother running back and forth, opening cabinets and closing them again, his face growing more and more urgent. Behind the house, Mother was bathing the baby. The sound of water flowed steadily. She still did not know of a kep that inside the house, Cutis was trying every possible way to fulfill BUEM's small wish. Cutis opened another cabinet. This time, he did not find money, but he saw some empty cans. Cutis stood still for 1 second, through his mind. If there was no money, he could sell the empty cans. It was not an easy way. It was not a plan every child would think of. But Cutis was determined. To him, as long as there was a way to exchange something for money, he would try. Cutis began gathering the empty cans. The noise inside the house became louder. Mother, who was behind the house, heard the unusual sound. She quickly wrapped the baby in a towel and came inside to check. As soon as she entered, she saw Cutis searching through the cabinet and gathering empty cans. Mother was surprised and asked Cutis what he was doing. Cutis froze. He looked at Mother, then at the empty cans in his hands. He knew he could no longer hide it, but this time, Cutis was not doing something wrong out of mischief. He only wanted to help BUEM. He explained to Mother that BUEM wanted to go to the restaurant for a drink, but Cutis had no money left. So he planned to sell the empty cans to get money and take BUEM there. Mother listened and was silent for a moment. Perhaps she found it funny and touching. A small little monkey, thinking of selling empty cans just because he wanted to spoil his little brother. That clumsy love made Mother unable to scold him. Mother gently told the two brothers to go change their clothes, and she would give them money to go. Hearing that, Cutis and BUEM became so happy they almost could not believe it. Cutis no longer needed to sell the empty cans. But Mother had clearly seen the love he had for BUEM. After Mother agreed to give them money, Cutis and BUEM were so happy that they ran around the house. For BUEM, his wish to have a drink at the shop was finally about to come true. For Cutis, the joy was even bigger than that. He was not only happy because they were going out, he was happy because he had not disappointed BUEM. Cutis quickly ran into the room. He began choosing his clothes very carefully. For a trip to the shop with BUEM, Cutis wanted to look his best. He opened the wardrobe and looked at each outfit, thinking seriously as if this were a very important event. Finally, Cutis chose his best outfit. He held the clothes and went into the room to change, his face full of excitement. Meanwhile, Mother was also changing the baby's clothes in her room. The whole house suddenly felt lively, not because of a big trip, but because a small childlike happiness was being prepared with so much excitement. A short while later, Cutis and BUEM finished changing. The two brothers ran to Mother's room. Mother took out some money and gave it to them, reminding them to be careful. Those words were simple, but inside them were all the trust and worry of a mother. Cutis received the money with a serious expression. He understood that this was not only money for drinks, it was also Mother's trust in him. Mother trusted him to take BUEM out, to care for his little brother, and to be more careful while outside. Cutis carried BUEM and ran to the porch. But when he looked toward the kitchen, Cutis suddenly saw the empty cans he had taken out earlier. They were still scattered there, not yet cleaned up. Cutis stopped. He was excited to go, but he also felt guilty for making the house messy. So Cutis hurried down to clean it up for Mother. BUEM watched him, perhaps not understanding why Cutis suddenly returned to the kitchen when they were about to leave. But to Cutis, it was very clear. Mother had helped him. Mother had given him money. He could not leave the mess behind for her to clean alone. Mother saw him and gently told the two brothers to go, and that she would clean it up. Cutis looked at Mother for a moment, feeling both grateful and tender toward her. Finally, he nodded and ran quickly to take BUEM out. Cutis' steps felt light as air. He was no longer thinking about not having money. He was no longer thinking about the empty cans. Inside his heart, there was only the happiness that BUEM was finally going to the place he wanted. And to Cutis, that was the greatest reward. When they arrived at the shop, Cutis looked around carefully. This place felt very different from home. There were tables and chairs arranged neatly, people talking softly, the sweet smell of drinks, and a feeling that everyone who came here was enjoying a pleasant moment. BUEM sat beside Cutis, his eyes shining. Just seeing his little brother like that made all of Cutis' effort feel worthwhile. From the moment BUEM said he wanted a drink, to the moment Cutis searched his pockets and found no money, to the moment he rushed home looking for money, to the moment he gathered empty cans to sell, all of it had been for this happy look in BUEM's eyes. Cutis chose drinks for the two of them. He tried to choose carefully, like an older brother who wanted everything to be perfect for his little brother. Then Cutis picked a beautiful place for them to sit. He wanted BUEM not only to have a drink, but also to sit comfortably, look around, and fully enjoy this small outing. A short while later, the staff brought out their drinks. The two brothers looked at the glasses in front of them, unable to hide their excitement. BUEM could hardly take his eyes off the drink. Cutis looked at BUEM first, then at his own glass. To Cutis, the sweetest thing was not the drink. It was seeing BUEM happy. The two brothers began enjoying their drinks. BUEM drank little by little, his face full of delight. Cutis drank too, but he did not forget to care for his little brother. He carefully fed BUEM, giving him small bites gently and watching to see if he liked them. BUEM ate and drank happily. Cutis looked at him and his heart softened. Perhaps Cutis did not fully understand what sacrifice meant. He might not yet know how to name that kind of care as love, but everything he did today already said it clearly. When BUEM wanted something, Cutis did not ignore him. When he had no money, Cutis did not give up. When Mother gave him money, Cutis still remembered the mess he had made and tried to clean it. When they arrived at the shop, Cutis still cared more about BUEM's happiness than his own. The two brothers sat there eating and drinking with joy. Cutis looked at the scenery around them. Everything felt new. A small roadside shop, a delicious drink, a nice seat, and a little brother sitting beside him. None of it was grand, but it filled Cutis' heart with a clear and simple happiness. After they finished, Cutis carried BUEM to the counter to pay. He handed over the money very carefully. That money had been given by Mother, so Cutis knew he had to use it properly and seriously. After paying, Cutis carried BUEM and prepared to go home. On the way back, BUEM was probably still happy because he had gone out for a drink. Cutis was happy in a different way. He was happy because he had fulfilled his little brother's wish. He was happy because he had cared for BUEM like a true older brother. Sometimes, love is not about buying something big. Love can be a ride back home just to search for money. It can be searching through every cabinet because you do not want your little brother to feel disappointed. It can be the thought of selling empty cans, even when you are still so small. It can be choosing your best outfit to take your little brother out. It can be sitting beside him, feeding him small bites, then paying carefully before going home. Cutis spoiled BUEM in the most special way, not because he had a lot of money, but because he had a heart that always thought of his little brother. And the lesson of that day was simple. In a family, love often lives in the smallest things. An older brother may not do everything perfectly, but as long as his heart is full of care, even clumsy actions become precious. BUEM may only remember that he got to go out for a drink that day, but Cutis would remember much more. He would remember the worry of having no money. He would remember the relief when Mother understood and helped him. He would remember the joy of seeing BUEM smile at his drink. And he would remember that being an older brother does not always mean being stronger, but it means trying for someone smaller than you. A roadside drink will eventually be finished. A small outing will eventually end. But the love Cutis gave BUEM that day will stay for a very long time. Because some things may be small, but when they are done with the whole heart, they become the warmest memories in a family's childhood.